Kaido, the creature that every other beast aspires to achieve, and Kurama, the beast sought after by so many nations it had to be split in half just to keep the balance of power in the world safe. Hi everyone, I'm Rocksteady World, and today we'll be putting these two creatures against one another. So, without further ado, let's get into it, starting with the king of the beast pirates, Kaido. Kaido, in other words, one of the four emperors, is a interesting character to scale. Now, you can obviously start off with attack potency and durability, and the most common way to scale him is to scale him to Whitebeard. Now, Whitebeard has multiple calcs, therefore it offers a lot of ranges for characters that scale to him, like in this case Kaido. So, what are the most common calcs? Well, that leads from... he can either be multi-continental, or he can be star level. And I know that is a big gap, but you use what is most often consistent. So for this versus matchup, we will be using, well, what is most likely consistent. And for that, that is the multi-continental Kaido. So, multi-continental for both attack potency and durability. But let's get into how fast he is, because, you know, a big wall doesn't really pose much of a threat unless you're an Attack on Titan. Now, for speed, it is also quite confusing. However, the most common calcs put Kaido at obviously massively faster than light. This can range anywhere from 900 to 2700. For this, we're obviously going to be using the most recent calcs provided by the most recent YouTubers and versus battle wikis, and even some of my own calc calculations. And this would obviously clock Kaido in with around characters like Kizaru, leading to Kaido being, well, 900 times the speed of light. So, that leads into abilities. Kaido possessing the Dragon Fruit means that he can fly, conjure flame clouds. He can transform not only from human to dragon, but also human to hybrid. Hybrid forms have the benefits of both, and allow him to, shoot off cutting like projectiles, manipulate the weather in some aspects, lift up entire islands, everything possible. Also, we haven't even got to his best stat yet, which is Haki. Haki allows him to see the future, increase his already very impressive durability, and increase his attack potency with the use of Conqueror's Haki. Now, while armament is able to attack opponents and greatly increase your attack potency, Conqueror's Haki is where it's at. That is the pinnacle of attack potency that we have seen in One Piece, and thankfully, our main man right here is proficient in it. So, with all that out of the way, let's move over to Kaido's opponent. And don't you guys worry, this fight will definitely put a smile on Kaido's face. So, Kurama, the nine-tailed fox. The fox that destroyed Konoha. Let's start off with him. Starting off. So, as far as attack potency, we're going to have to look at what is most consistent. Now, the tailed beasts have a lot, and I mean a lot of calcs and statements. But typically, you put them at, once again, around multi-continental. Now, there are a lower and a higher end. For example, you can put Kurama at country level, or you can put him at star level also. This is because if you subscribe to the theory that the Naruto world is the size of Jupiter, thanks to another YouTuber's calculation, which I will link down in the description, being able to completely vaporize it would obviously put him in that star range of power. Now, In order to equate this battle and provide some sort of consistency, you obviously have to look at what is most consistent, leading to Kurama being around multi-continental, which is very similar to Kaido. Now, what about speed? Speed is the all-encompassing. Well, just like Kaido, he can either be the speed of light or massively faster than light. So you have to look at what is most consistent. And typically, thanks to characters like Haku and the Fortified Kage, which are both stayed at the speed of light, and Kurama being able to massively upscale and calc stacking up off of that, you can typically get Kurama to into the hundreds to possibly thousands the speed of light. So that the calculation I got, which was based off of Haku, and considering each tail multiplier that Naruto is given by the nine-tailed fox, would lead to Kurama being at around 1,000 times the speed of light, or just above 1,000. So relatively even in speed. Now, let's look at Kurama's abilities. He has chakra, and this allows him to obviously enhance durability and possibly regenerate, but that is a very big unknown. And in this instance, he can also manipulate some of the elements. So, now that I've laid out both stats for you, who do I think wins? Well, Kurama will most likely have the speed advantage. However, bringing up in character, Kurama does not dodge ever. Ever. It is insane. And since I'm using Kurama, not Naruto, it is highly likely that he will just straight up not dodge. So while he will be able to perceive Kaido, the likelihood of him dodging an attack is highly unlikely, and this will most likely affect how Kaido fights with Kurama as well. Because Kaido, while not necessarily having the speed advantage, having future sight is a massive advantage, and it unbeknowingly can affect the battle, and Kurama won't even be able to understand what is happening. But it will be very difficult for both opponents to land attacks safely. For example, if Kaido goes in for a hit, he will most definitely be swung by one of Kurama's tails, or bitten down, or clawed, or something like that. So then this becomes a battle of endurance. Well, the problem is, Kaido does have endurance, and he has a limit to it. Kurama is literally just energy, and he can absorb energy from the earth itself to replenish himself. Now, we do not know if that is something that Naruto kind of gave him the knowledge of through Sage Mode, but most likely he would be able to understand it. Now, if I were a betting man, I would have to actually give it to Kaido in this instant. I know it's a bit shocking, but I think that Kaido, not only being able to attack the internal organs through the use of Ryo or Conqueror's Infusion, along with Future Sight, and while Kurama is more experienced, he is experienced in the wrong ways, which is a weird thing to say. He's used to not having to dodge, as I stated earlier, whereas Kaido will very clearly dodge attacks. We see this obviously with someone who he viewed as his equal, being Gear 4 Snake Man Luffy. So it is very in character for him, and while I can definitely see Kurama winning most of the time, or not I can see Kurama winning some of the time, I do not believe that he will be able to beat Kaido all of the time. If I had to give it a percentage, I would say like Kaido wins 60% of the time, maybe between that 55 to 60% range. That's how close this fight is. It is incredibly close, and it goes to show that, well, these monsters are comparable, but they are monsters. So I'm dabbling in a little bit something special for you guys. I mentioned monsters a lot of times in this video, even just prior. And who better to fight monsters than, well, the king of the monsters? So, I would like to announce that after this video goes up, I will be doing a Godzilla fight. But you may be wondering why I don't just release the video. That's because the two characters here, Kaido and Kurama, I will be adding together as a team to fight Godzilla. Yes, I am 100% serious. This is happening. It is a triple crossover, but they have to team up to beat Godzilla. I am 100% serious. I hope you guys are excited. I don't think I've seen many people put two characters from other verses to team up against another guy, but I can honestly say this puts such a smile on my face. I'm so excited. I hope you guys are ready for it, because it's going to be wild. And if you want to see that video, just be sure to subscribe, like, look at everything, maybe comment. And without further ado, I bid you all farewell. Have a good day, folks.